You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
This program is intended for mature audiences only. If you have any homicidal or suicidal feelings, please consult a doctor before listening to this program.
Of course, we've got the one and only Jenny McCartney in the booth, the social media goddess herself, pushing those buttons, making the show go again today. And, the co-hosts. I guess we'll go with the co-hosts. We got some of those, of course, coming to us live via satellite, as always, from his perch, I guess, high atop the Mill Bay Studios in beautiful Mill Bay, British Columbia, Canada, is the one and only Louis Lawless. Yes, high atop there. Are you there, Louis?
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Yes, we got that. Don't worry.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
Now you go right ahead, sir. We've got you covered.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
All right, and also joining us from his wonderful, beautiful, stately, I must say, apartment in Manhattan here in the big city is the one, the only, what's his name again? Oh, yes, Gilbert Godfrey. Are you ready, sir?
What the fuck?
Huh? Okay.
I'm ready.
Good. All right.
Yes.
All right. Gilbert Godfrey joining us from his lovely home here in the city. And also joining us is, of course, the one, the only George Takei, all the way from his home in Los Angeles, California. George, thank you for coming.
I think it's a treat to be here talking with you.
Yeah. There you go. And thank you. That's awesome. Now, is this thing on?
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's on. Is this on? Is this on? I can't tap it. I would tap it, but I won't do that. So.
There you go.
That's
well.
Right. Only one, Meeps. That's us. The only one, HTLA Radio 1 New York, and you're here and you're listening. And this is Straight Talk. And, yeah, we've got 90 minutes of springtime in the city stories for you tonight. And, yeah, lots of social injustice stories. I'm in the mood for ranting. We said we weren't going to do a rant show, but here we are, and it's going to turn into a rant show.
It is, yes.
I can't help but be angry about the stories. You know, there's just too much to be excited about, and everybody's got to bring us down with all this stuff.
Stupidity.
That's right. And, well, we'll talk about that, too, because we've got a great show coming up for you that we've got in development for a little while now, and we're going to launch that Wednesday, and we'll talk about that a bit later. That's pretty exciting. That's called The Spotlight with Kate and Crash.
Absolutely. And tonight, a bit of a free-for-all. We're going to tear it up for you on tonight's Straight Talk. Everything from the day's events to some politics goodiness and the struggle, of course, to maintain home and work. We'll get into it all tonight. Professional businesswomen that I talk to, they do the work, but it's just the corporate work, and they think that's enough because, damn it, I've just put 12 hours a day in today in my job, and
right.
They feel deserving of something else, not to come home and take care of the kids, and not to come home and take care of the husband, and not to come home and take care of anything else.
Right.
It's time for them to kick their feet up now and go hit the bars and relax or something because they've earned it. Right. And I'm here to say that as a man, we do that all the time. We always have. We go out and work our full-time jobs or more.
Right.
And we come home and we're still expected to be the dad. We're still expected to help the kids with the homework. We're still expected to have activities and stuff with our family and have that interaction and put that time in.
Sure.
Maybe that's why we get 100% of our pay instead of 70% of our pay.
Right. Right. Well, you're not... Well, in the tradition now, men are also expected to do half the housework and half of all that stuff, whereas it used to just be before, you know, the garbages and the lawns and all that stuff that you do, the man stuff, you know. So, yes, and unfortunately, in some cases, in a great majority of the households now, more often than not, the women are working and I have so many, friends that I know that their husbands take care of the kids and drop the kids at school and do the school activities and do the projects and wash the clothes and do
but with that comes the dreaded beta male, because there's not a single one of those men that I have met that I would look up to in battle.
No, of course not. And this is to our thinking, to our thinking. And while it took us years in practice, it was an ideology that we shared from the moment that we met anyway.
Yeah.
The whole, that was our vision for what the ideal family was.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. There's a hard-hitting man show sound tune for you. That's right, baby. Welcome to HTLA OK Biker Radio. Come on down to the Roadhouse. Grab some girls. Squeeze some beers. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, there we go. That's the big Manly Roadhouse opening there. Just thought I'd throw that in there before we got into the, gender I don't know of it all, I guess is the word. I don't know, man. When I was a little boy growing up, I had me a little penis in my little shorts. And I like girls. Oh, yeah. I like girls. I like strippers. Yeah, single moms. I support them. Yeah, I should do a biker show. That's what I should do. Yeah, the Roadhouse with Crash. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe that's a bad... Yeah. Yeah, Crash is a bad nickname for a biker radio show. But hey, tonight we're not talking about bikers, are we? Oh, no. No, because that would be, fun and enjoyable for yours truly, Chris Crash Jesus Taylor here at HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. Talking about stuff I actually like and care about. Yeah, swing it, girl. Yes, of course. But what can you do? This is a job, and I'm supposed to come on here and talk about Juice Brenner. I mean, Bruce Jenner. Yes. I'd like to talk about Juice Brenner. She was a mighty nice stripper down at the Roadhouse, at least in my mind. But anyway, I'm kind of wandering here because I don't really want to do this show tonight, but I'm going to do this show tonight because it's my goddamn job. So I'm going to do my show tonight. Damn it. Yes, I will do my show, and my show will do you if you choose to listen. Tonight, of course, we're talking about Bruce Jenner and his amazing transition from being a manly man with 6 or 7 kids, I think, a triathlete, Olympic champion, yada, 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 the epitome of testosterone, much like yours truly in his Roadhouse radio show. But there's been some developments. Yes, there has. The dreaded time is upon us tonight. Of course, I am looking at the Bruce Jenner transformation to Juice Brenner and its impact on our society and laws today. I'm a rippin'. So don't you go anywhere. It's time for Crash Talk.
HTLA Radio 1.
HTLA Radio 1 in New York City proudly presents Crash Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, HTLA 97.3 FM in New York proudly presents rock superstar Crash Jesus.
Ah, yeah. There we go. There we go. Welcome, HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. Welcome to Crash Talk. Yes, for this Tuesday, the 28th of April, 2015. That's what day it is. I know what day it is. Don't you worry. That's why they get me to host the big shows like this one here. Oh man. This is a tough show for me. It really is because, wow, so many reasons. But before I get into it, tonight's show is, of course, brought to you by the fine folks at Tim Hortons, New York City, now with 8 fine locations in the city to serve all your coffee and baked goods needs. Check them out. Tim Hortons, always fresh. Also, HTLA's Studio 2 in Manhattan here is, of course, a PreSonus broadcast studio. For the latest and greatest in everything professional audio, check them out, presonus.com. And I do have to mention, of course, disclaimer on this show, that the opinions expressed herein do not necessarily, of course, apply to those of HTLA Radio 1 or its subsidiary corporations. Thank you very much. There we go. So now that I got that all out of the way, have you heard the news? What is the news, Crash? Well, the news is that William Bruce Jenner is a former U.S. track and field athlete and current motivational speaker. Yeah, okay, that took me a little off. Well, Jenner came to international attention, of course, when he won the gold medal in the decathlon at the 1976 Summer Olympics, held in Montreal, Canada. Subsequently, he starred in several made-for-TV movies and was briefly Eric Estrada's replacement on the TV series Chips. Jenner was married for 24 years to Kris Jenner, formerly Kardashian. The couple and their children appeared beginning in 2007 on the television reality series Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Following his divorce in 2015, Jenner came out in a television interview as a trans woman. Not a Trans Am. See, the road show, we'd be talking about, yeah, man, a Trans Am. No, we're talking about the trans woman. Now, although still preferring male pronouns until his transition is more complete, many news sources have described Jenner as the most famous openly transgender American. Yeah, there you go. So that's pretty much Bruce Jenner in a nutshell, and you know, Did you happen to catch? Did you really? Did you happen to catch the interview the other night, Saturday night there? Yeah, the interview that everybody is talking about, of course. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. I don't really, for the life of me, know why we're doing this show tonight because, well, they're raving. Everybody out in the public, on Twitter, on social media, everywhere you go, they're raving about this. Like it's some sort of, well, I don't know, gold medal achievement. They're raving. Oh, yes. Did you hear about Bruce Jenner? Oh, did you see Bruce Jenner? Oh, my God. You know, let's be fair here. Shall we do this? I'm going to be fair here. This man was born October 28th, 1949. Okay, he stands 6'2". Yes, he does. He has children, Kylie Jenner, Kendall Jenner, Brody Jenner, Casey Jenner, Brandon Jenner, Bert Jenner. He has parents, of course. Yes, the good old traditional William and Esther Jenner. That's mom and dad. Still married, by the way. You get somebody like this, and he comes up and he does his decathlon thing, and he gets some gold at the Olympics, and he gets into some TV shows that really TV show. Okay. So you came in for what was it? 8 episodes of Chips, and that was it. And then 20 years later, you get a reality show all about your family and how fricked up they are because one of your, good old Kim Kardashian, daughter by marriage, of course, puts out her sex tape. You know, I've never been a fan of the Kardashian family. Never understood how they seem to hold the limelight with literally no talent whatsoever. And I'm going to do something that I don't normally do on Crash Talk because it might just turn into a big argument fest, but I'm willing to take the risk. I'm going to open up the phone lines tonight. Yeah, so if you want to call in and chime in about the Bruce Jenner Juice Brenner dealio, feel free to do so. 914-873-1NYC, or for you letter-challenged folks out there, it's 914-873-1692. I'll let you have your say on this situation here. I'm looking through countless photos of him. Early photos, back when he was a man, to kind of strange, unknown photos where he's dressed like a man. Looks a little bit like Viggo Mortensen, but he's wearing a lipstick and mascara. Yeah. This was at a premiere for something that, of course, he wasn't starring in because he never does. The most famous transgender in America. That's what they're dubbing him now. That's his title. That's his thing. When I'd ask the question, Danny Bonaducci has got more credits. Right. Yeah, kind of resting my case there. And, the supporting information, yes, the people coming out in support of this thing. It's world news. Kim Kardashian comes out in support of Bruce Jenner's transition. Well, I would kind of expect that. She is family after all, to a certain degree, right? You would want your kids to support that, wouldn't you? I would. Wait a minute. No, I wouldn't. Well, yes, I would, because coming from a traditional family myself, I, of course, would want my children to support me in something that they didn't entirely understand. But, yeah, so she had, and it's world news. World news. Yeah. Now, you might be sitting here going, well, geez, Crash, you're sounding kind of jealous. Well, absolutely not. Couldn't be further from the truth. That's why I did 22 years in film and television production. Yes, behind the camera, not in front of it. I don't like being in the spotlight. I like shining the spotlight on, which kind of, I guess, fits with the personality of this show. But what about this? There's so many different facets to this. It's not even funny. We're in 2015 now. We're in a day and age where the Supreme Court is wrestling with gay marriage because they don't understand that. Well, I would submit to the court, and for your listening review tonight, that nobody does understand this because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, and you're probably just sitting there going, "Oh, you're just a bigoted idiot, and you don't know anything." And well, no. We did several shows on this whole transgender thing recently, the last couple of weeks on Coffee and Cigarettes, the daily show that I do, and we've spoke to some experts about this, and even the people who are supporting these people and are all for them and have little outreach centers and all these little things, even they're confused. Even, there's cited infighting amongst transgendered organizations about different things and what they mean pertaining to the gender, I guess, challenged community or see, that's not even fair to say. You know what I mean? That's not fair to say because they're not gender challenged. They're like you and me. They were born with, either a penis or a vagina. There's only two. Although, throwing more nightmare into the fire, we have Facebook, who gives you a choice of no less than 59 gender choices, including a 60th one, which is custom. You just put in whatever the hell you want. What is wrong with humanity? What's the problem here? We've just kind of gotten to the point where we're feeling pretty comfortable with the technology to be able to do medical procedures, converting a man into a woman and a woman into a man. We're just there now, really. But there's so many things that these people have to go through. Geez, it's almost like I'm advocating for them now. I just don't understand, full stop. I just don't get it. I don't know where this is all coming from. It didn't exist 30 years ago. And you ask yourself, well, what's changed? Well, medical technology has changed to the point where we can actually do this to people now. Well, that must be the reason for it. But then that brings up another question in my head. Well, if we can, should we? And where is this all going? What do these people hope to achieve? It's kind of the same thing with gay relationships and wanting to be recognized with gay marriage. Let me just understand that a little further too. Well, I'm going to go for my first commercial break. When we come back, I'll open up the phone lines. If there's anybody out there even listening or cares about the whole Bruce Jenner, Juice Brenner thing, you can give us a call, 914-873-1692, and we'll be back in just 2 minutes.
And you are listening to Crash Talk with Christopher John Taylor, a.k.a. Crash Jesus, on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions, abundant with rich, fertile soil? What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Man, I've been to a lot of places over these past 50 years. Seen the whole true north strong and free. 'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Cooksville, Stouffville, Bainesville, Bowmanville, Bonnieville, Unionville, Oakville, Dunville, Brockville, Boucherville, Melville, Drummondville, Kentville, Grenville, Morinville, Maryville, Parksville, Stephenville, Sackville, Spring Hill, Westville, Walkerville, hanging on a windowsill. Hey! He said, wow, that's a lot of places. I said, hang on, there's more. I've been to Monton, Picton, Shannon, Vernon, Stellarton, Hamilton, Nipigon, Nobleton, Yorkton, Brighton, Bolton, Beaverton, Brandon, Edmonton, Walkerton, Wyerton, Granby, Miramichi, Charlottetown, Burnaby, Yellowknife, Whitehorse, Corner Brook, none of it. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I crossed the prairies bare, man. I breathed the mountain air. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere, man. Check it out. Ottawa, Wawa, Mattawa, Chippewa, Moose Jaw, Oshawa.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu and drive like a gangster when I'm coming
See you, see you, see you, see you.
Hi, I'm Gil Fulbright. The people that run my campaign, they've made this commercial, and I'm in it. This campaign, it's not about me. It's about crafting a version of me that'll appeal to you. A version that visits random work sites with paid actors pointing at things. A version of me that doesn't find old people loathsome or pointless. Has a conventionally attractive yet curiously still family. Listening to my constituents, legislating, these are things I don't do. What I do is spend about 70% of my time raising funds for re-election. I'd do anything to stay in office. My name's Gil Fulbright, but hell, I'll change my name to Phil Goldbright or Bill Fulbright or fill up my mouth with farts. These are the things that are important to me. And these are the fine people that finance my campaign. Now, in order to do these things, I have to stay in office. And to stay in office, I have to keep these guys happy. Now, if any of these things make these guys unhappy, well, my hands are tied. So come November, the choice is clear. You want another spineless mouthpiece for special interest in lobbyists? Or a spineless mouthpiece for special interest in lobbyists? I'm Philip a Mouth with Farts, and I approve this message.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the Egyptian cotton towels. Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York. Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Oh, yes, this just in. Sorry. Oh, that's better. Oh, yeah, give me that Roadhouse. Yeah, you're back. HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. Tonight's Tuesday night Crash Talk. Juice Brenner. That's right. Yeah, it's good to have you back. And, so before the break, we were talking a little bit about, the whole gay marriage fight that's going on in the Supreme Court yet again. It went on in 2013, and now it's going on again because, there's just not enough clarification, I guess. And, of course, the reason we're talking about this isn't actually because of homosexuals. No, it's because of Mr. Bruce Jenner, or, as I like to call him now, Juice Brenner, and his Diane Sawyer interview on Saturday there drew 16.5 million viewers. And apparently that was topping it for the night's shows on the old TV Nielsen ratings. And, everybody was raving about that. They're like, hey, wow, 16.5 million people, they support Bruce Jenner. Well, no, you can't kind of say that. And trust me, people are saying that. But that's not what you can say, because you got to ask yourself the simple question. How many of those 16.5 million people are tuning in because they just don't understand and they wanted another look at the new alien on the block? I know. It might seem harsh. It might seem harsh. But hey, it's Crash Talk. Of course it's harsh. Thank you very much, Billy. Give me another beer. Yes, we're back. So, yeah, well, is what percentage of that 16.5 million viewers that everybody's raving about, like it's support for Bruce Jenner or something, are the people that slow down for accidents, which we all know, traveling on any highway in this country, that would be about, 98%? Granted, my number's probably a little high, but you get the point. It's an extremely high percentage of people that want to see the car wreck. And that's what I believe we've got going on here. The transgender people GLAAD spoke to one of their representatives yesterday, actually, for coffee and cigarettes on a different story. But the official word from them, although they qualify that by saying they don't know for sure because nobody will tell the truth about it, is they estimate there's 700,000 people in this country who are at some strange, weird kind of brain chemical level of trans something. If you took a poll in 1975, that number would be extremely less. There wouldn't be 700,000 then. Even, granted, that's out of 350 million now in the United States. 700,000 is still a pretty minute number. And, they can't back it up with any hard statistics, so I'm going to say that's a really high guess. And yes, I mean guess. So what is this thing that has just kind of come about recently? Like I say, show me a person 30 years ago. You can't. The mindsets were different then. We were focused on, I don't know, maybe more important things. Or were we? That was one of the questions I'm going to attempt to answer tonight, but I also wanted to bring in, I know, that ugly thing rearing its head, PC, politically correct. We're living in an age and time where nobody can be offended. Yeah. Nobody. Nope. And if you do offend, you'll lose your job. Yes. Just asked the VP of a certain corporation that was fired for something she said, and it wasn't even about homosexuals or gays. It was about black people. And not even in the United States. It was about black people in Africa. And she wasn't from the United States. She was from Australia. That's right. He's down under. Yes, she was. And now she's out of a job, and she can't get hired as a VP at another corporation because of what? A statement she made in passing, not even thinking, on Twitter. Yeah. Because it went viral. Because the PC people, whoever the hell they are, just won't have that no more. Lost her job, lost her livelihood. Gone. And, it's happening more and more and more and more and more, and even the entertainment industry is not immune, as we've now seen with Bruce coming out and doing his big Diane Sawyer evening. Well, actresses, yes, are coming under fire for Jenner comments. Yeah. Star Trek Into Darkness star Alice Eve, she sparked backlash today when she said that Bruce Jenner is, quote, playing at being a woman, end quote. The British actress made the comments in 2 posts on Instagram that she has since deleted from her account because of the outrage. Quote, if you were a woman, no one would have heard you because women can't compete in the decathlon. There you go. Interesting fact there. Eve wrote, according to the BBC, quote, you would be a frustrated young athlete who wasn't given a chance, end quote. Now, let's see how that pertains to the PC world. Well, if we listen to the indoctrination of politically correctness, this is completely unacceptable, and we will have to have her fired immediately, never to be given another movie or television role ever again. She's seen her last red carpet next window. And, of course, if she was an American actress, well, she'd have that freedom of expression and that freedom of speech. Oh, but make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, just because you have that here, yeah, same thing applies. You'll still get shunned. Yes, it's like the old Amish thing. Yeah, you'll get shunned. And isn't it interesting that in this day and age where so many different groups are trying to pry us with closed fists and a huge pry bar, trying to pry us from traditionalism. They're doing it so hard that bar is beginning to bend and is coming close to breaking. This woman here, this actress, Alice Eve, is she going to suffer backlash from this? She already is. Well, she goes on to further say, until women are paid the same as men, then playing at being women while retaining the benefits of being a man is completely unfair. Well, she's right again. She also wrote, do you have a vagina? ? Are you paid less than men? ? Then, my friend, you are not a woman. Fans immediately began bombarding Eve over the comments. One fan wrote, quote, I've always adored you, but I can honestly say I'll be avoiding your work from now on. I have a trans sibling, and no amount of apologies can make up for what you said. Really? Because everything she said there is the truth. And you know what? That's it, ladies and gentlemen. The truth hurts, doesn't it? We can't handle the truth, literally, to coin that movie. Because seriously, who is the actress hurting here by saying these things that are all factual and completely within her purview as a free-thinking human being to vocalize? And just the fact that we vocalize now on social media rather than face-to-face is really beside the point. Well, it's not beside the point, but it's a completely different show. And I've done several of them on that. But where is this not okay? She's okay to say this stuff. Why not? It's all honest. It's all truthful. And I would further continue her direction with Mr. Jenner or anybody else who claims to be any way, shape, or form transsexual in any transition or phase or whatever the hell they call it. A very good friend of mine has a brother who is now a sister, although I don't know if the transition, as it were, is complete. But I've always been a straightforward man. I've always been toe-to-toe with anybody I talk to, and I've always been accountable for things I say, and I expect other people to do the same. And I sat down with this person. Yes, we went out camping one summer, and he brought his brother, who has transitioned over the last, 10, 12 years or so, into a sister. And I talked about a lot of things around that campfire that night. And yes, there was some beer involved, but it didn't come to fisticuffs. I thought it was a constructive conversation. I didn't learn anything from it. I was more confused after it than I was before. And the brother, the friend of mine, I don't even think he understands. I would ask a question, like this particular person who was once a man and has now turned into a woman, has gone out and got himself a woman, or herself a woman, sorry. And the two of them, I believe, are a lesbian couple. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, why didn't you just keep the penis and keep the woman? Well, that's not who I am, she would say. Okay, explain that to me. And this conversation, seriously, went from about dinner time, around 6 in the evening when we sat down to the campfire and had dinner and started the conversation. And I kid you not, at 4:30 in the morning, I was just too tired. I couldn't listen to anymore. They were too tired. They couldn't explain anymore. And we all just went to our opposing tents and crashed and carried on the next day like nothing happened. Because I didn't bring it up to be abrasive. I didn't bring it up to beat them up. I didn't, I'm not fighting against this, per se. I'm just wanting to understand. Why did this not occur 30 years ago or any time before that? And yes, I've had the people say to me, Crash, what do you think cross-dressers were? Well, I've talked to some psychologists about what cross-dressers were, and guess what? They're not that. It's completely separate. In fact, In fact, the representative from GLAAD told me that they take very much offense at being put into the same category as cross-dressing men, because that is not what this is. Yeah, fact. That's what they said. So here I am, years ago, having this conversation with my best friend and his brother, who is now his sister, who is with his girlfriend, her girlfriend, the soon-to-be wife. Do you see the confusion? Holy Christ. Is it a him? Is it a her? Are they gay? Are they lesbian? Are they straight? Are they... What's wrong with your body? What's all this stuff? It's just a big, confusing nightmare that I don't believe anybody who is transgender or is going through being transgender or whatever the hell they're doing, I don't believe they know. I really don't. Because if they did, they'd be able to answer some of these basic questions. And they wouldn't take offense to some of these people like Alice Eve making these completely fair and true statements and asking completely fair and true, honest questions. Since when do we come under fire for asking a question? In my best friend's brother or sister's case, it was a complete adult conversation that we all sat around the campfire. I had my girlfriend with me. My buddy had his, and his brother/sister had her/wife girlfriend. Yeah, it was we had this conversation, and it nobody got offended, nobody got hurt. There was a lot of explaining going on. There was a lot of more questions that were generated because of some of the explaining, because it didn't make sense. It was like the arguments were cyclical, and it was it was a tough night. But ever since then, I've never been one to just point the finger at somebody and go, "Oh, look at them." I'm not a judge. I judge people based on their behavior, not what's in their pants or what's not in their pants or how they dress or how they present themselves. I base my judgments on behaviors, and it served me well all my life. In this particular case, it's almost like, and postulate this over the next commercial break, it's almost like these people are doing this for, A, a huge amount of attention because it's all the rage right now. B, they can get no end of attention from pretty much any different group, race, organization, association, government, etc., etc. Because why? Well, everybody's afraid of offending anybody. If we do that, there'll be a court case, and then it'll go to the Supreme Court, and it'll be an international thing, and no, we just better not say anything. And that's another question for the good old Crash Talk tonight. What do you think is happening to our society as more and more things like this develop, and the less and less anybody says about anything? Postulate that. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
And you are listening to Crash Talk with Christopher John Taylor, a.k.a. Crash Jesus, on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Man, I've been to a lot of places over these past 50 years. Seen the whole true north strong and free. 'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Cooksville, Stouffville, Bainesville, Bowmanville, Bonnieville, Unionville, Oakville, Dunville, Brockville, Boucherville, Melville, Drummondville, Kentville, Grenville, Morinville, Maryville, Parksville, Stephenville, Sackville, Spring Hill, Westville, Walkerville, hanging on a windowsill. Hey! He said, wow, that's a lot of places. I said, hang on, there's more. I've been to Monton, Picton, Shannon, Vernon, Stellarton, Hamilton, Nipigon, Nobleton, Yorkton, Brighton, Bolton, Beaverton, Brandon, Edmonton, Walkerton, Wyerton, Granby, Miramichi, Charlottetown, Burnaby, Yellowknife, Whitehorse, Corner Brook, Nunavut. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I crossed the prairies bare, man. I breathed the mountain air. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere, man. Check it out. Ottawa, Wawa, Mattawa, Chippewa, Moose Jaw, Oshawa.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions, abundant with rich, fertile soil? What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters. What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, and drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you. See you, see you.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Well, there you go. We are back. Yes, you're listening to Crash Talk tonight, HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. 64 degrees right now in Central Park, and the moon is out and a couple of clouds, but other than that, not bad at 64. Looking for 73 degrees tomorrow. That's going to be good. Not too bad for this Tuesday, the 28th of April, 2015, and it is 10 to 10 Eastern Time. There you go. So welcome back to the show. Of course, tonight's episode, Juice Brenner. We're, of course, talking about the whole Bruce Jenner thing. I don't, even I don't know if you guys all actually saw the interview. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't have a clue. I don't understand. Beats me. We're also talking about political correctness. We're talking about ramifications of saying word one to offend anybody anymore. Making factual statements. That's what blows me away. Making factual statements and making factual questions based in an honest viewpoint, which that actress there, Eve, wrote. Yes, Alice Eve. Yes, thank you. Star Trek Into Darkness. Will she ever work again? That's going to be the big question for her. Everybody's so turned off and inflamed by her post, which, again, that they weren't inflammatory. You want inflammatory questions, You come to talk to Crash. I'll give you some inflammatory questions. No, but these were fair questions. Is Bruce Jenner playing at being a woman? ? If you were a woman, no one would have heard of you because women can't compete in the decathlon. What about that? You would be a frustrated young athlete who wasn't given a chance now, wouldn't you? Do you have a vagina? ? Are you paid less than men? ? Then, my friend, you are not a woman. Those are completely fair statements. And, to be fair, in my research, in talking to psychiatrists, in talking to psychologists, in talking to representatives from GLAAD, yes, even they admit there's infighting and arguing amongst transgender communities as a whole on the definitions of certain things and how they pertain to everything. And then, as if that wasn't enough for the rest of us to deal with, what do we got after that? Well, we've got this whole gender neutrality, gender fluidity, gender this, gender that, to the point where Facebook, several months ago, Facebook actually changed everybody's profile. Now you have a choice between 59 different options to choose your gender. I'm not even kidding. And you have a 60th option to put in custom. To fill it yourself. If you don't fall into those 59 gender possibilities, well, you can put in your own. To this, I have an extreme question of society. What the fuck? Seriously. What the hell is wrong with everybody? Why? We only have two sexes as a species. Get over it. That's what gender is. Penis or a vagina. But no, we have these states of mind now. Yes, I don't know what. Because, to be honest, I haven't heard of the 59 options there. Well, less two, of course, male and female. And indeed, with the transgender thing, the name literally means transitioning from one gender to another. So I guess we shouldn't get that confused with gender fluidity or gender neutrality or sexuality. No, we shouldn't confuse any of that because, of course, it all makes complete sense. A man is transitioning into a woman to be with another woman. Do you see the confusion? Well, my best friend's brother became his sister and then went and was with his girlfriend/wife. Yeah. And they're living happily ever after right now. I don't know how, and I don't know why. I don't... What? Would the significant other not be with him if he was still a him? Apparently, according to her, no, she'd still be with him. Would her, having gone through this transition from being a man, is she now better able to love said girlfriend/wife? Apparently not. It almost seemed during that conversation that the gender transition was just kind of an extra thing. It was kind of a day at the circus. We're together as husband and wife, but I just had this done. It was fun. That's really what I got from it. That their feelings for each other haven't changed because of it. Their feelings for each other apparently would have stayed if the sex had stayed. But now it's not, and it's all good anyway because they love each other. Well, hats off to them. Great. More people should fall in love and be married with people for those kind of reasons. Absolutely. So where did this transition thing come from or go to? I don't know. There's just nothing there. Well, Jenner made national news this last week when he told Diane Sawyer that he is transgender. The interview broke a number of records, including becoming the most tweeted Friday telecast of all time. According to Nielsen, a total of 8.1 million people in the U.S. saw one or more of the 972,000 tweets sent about the 2-hour special, Bruce Jenner, The Interview. Yeah. The interview was also a major ratings success for ABC. It scored a remarkable 5.2 rating, 17 share in the 18 to 49 demographic, most important to the advertisers, and a 6.418, the Key's new demo. Those numbers represent the best performance for 2020 since March 17th of 2000. All right. So, while the number being 16.5 million people watching out of 350 million people in the country, you know, it's great that the Nielsen ratings have their ratings according to the advertisers and et cetera, and that's all good. Don't get me wrong, it's good, sure. But to now have to deal with this whole first part of the week here, Monday and Tuesday, being bombarded with 16.5 million people. We're all coming together or something as a group, and we all support Bruce Jenner. I don't support Bruce Jenner. Who the hell is he? Some guy from the '76 Olympics that did a couple of guest spots on Chips? Are you freaking serious? You know, this isn't like Leonardo DiCaprio. This isn't like Tom Hanks. This certainly isn't like a Brad Pitt. It's some guy who won an Olympic medal in 1976 and subsequently did a couple of guest spots on very, very, very old TV shows. Oh, well, wait. I'm forgetting the whole Kardashian connection, aren't I? Yes, the multi-billion-dollar corporate entity that is the Kardashian family and their reality show. Oh, damn, if he could have only come out in 2007 with this. And why do they call it coming out? He's not gay. See, I would think that all the gay community is really getting pissed off with all the transgenders coming out and saying, I'm coming out. That's their term. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see come before the Supreme Court before too long homosexual groups taking transsexual groups to court because they're stealing their wind. And heaven forbid we lose any wind in that rainbow flag. Yeah. And I'm always reminded of a thing that my wife says when not just talking about homosexuals and not just talking about transgenders and not just talking about race relations and Black Lives Matter and all the rest of it. She says to me, with the right for gay marriage, with the right to love who you want, ignoring gender, all that good stuff. That's fine. The right to, I don't know, just be happy. It's almost like we feel like we have to sue for the right to be happy. Kind of makes me think if there's a bigger picture issue here, people. I mean, are we not happy? Sure as hell seems like a lot of you aren't. Take me, for example. This is going to be good. I'm happy. I'm happy with my life. I'm satisfied with my life. I'm happy with my wife. I'm happy with my kids. I'm happy with my situation. I'm happy with my past. Anything that I had in my past that I was struggling with, I've dealt with it and moved on now. I've grown past that. Overall, I'm a happy guy. You don't see me out there petitioning for this and having this person thrown in jail and having that person lose their job and go out and lead the charge against these people because they believe this or the next thing. Live and let live. You know, I'm here on a spiritual journey, damn it. We're human beings, we all are. And the sooner the rest of us catch up and get that, the better off I think we'll all be. This stuff doesn't matter. If Bruce Jenner wants to go and get his penis cut off and have a vagina installed, Hey, it's his right. If his medical coverage covers it, it's certainly doable, and why not? It's not like he's going to show up at my door at midnight, drunk, going, "Hey, sailor, you want to try out this new vagina I just got installed?" No, he's not. I'll never meet him. When he is actually finalized a her, I'll never meet her. Well, I shouldn't say that. You meet kind of a lot of famous people in bars in New York City, but you know what I'm saying. The chances of me and Bruce Jenner or Juice Brenner ever meeting, pretty frickin' slim. Because I'll be at the Biker Roadhouse and, well, she wouldn't go there. So there you go. But apparently, the rest of America, and indeed a good chunk of the world out there, I'm sure, really cares what happens in this situation and really wants to see justice done. Well, my understanding of wanting to see justice done is when there's been an injustice. There hasn't been one here. He wasn't suppressed. He wasn't told, "Oh, you can't be a woman," since he was a little baby by his very traditional mom and dad. No. Where's the injustice? There isn't one. Well, I guess maybe there is, if you think about it. Work with me here, people. What about his 7 kids? Now, before you just sit there and go, "Oh, they're fine, they all support him." No. I'm not talking the media. I'm talking reality. Your little Bobby or Joey or Bruce Jr. or whoever the hell his kids are, I forget, Chloe, I don't know, somebody. You're one of his 7 kids. And he comes home one day and puts on the makeup and puts on the dress and comes and sits down at the dinner table and you have dinner like a family like you normally do, only Dad's now looking kind of like a woman. And you ask, "What up, Dad?" And the triathlete or decathlete or whatever the hell he was in the Olympics in 1976 looks at you and says, "Well, son, I'm going to transition to be a woman now. I want to be your mommy." Now really put yourself in that position and you tell me that there's not some pretty severe psychological damage that's going to go on there right at that moment. You got a mom, you got a dad, you got 6 siblings. Everybody's all cool. Everybody's normal. Oh, wait, what? So maybe there is injustice being done, although we'll never see about it on Diane Sawyer, and we'll certainly never hear about it on Twitter, will we? No, because that kind of shit's stifled, isn't it? And the question is, too, what would Bruce Jenner or any of these other transgenders out there who are making this transition from being a man into being a woman? Now, don't get me confused with the ones who are women transitioning to be men. That's a completely different story and something that makes absolutely as much sense as the other way around, i.e. meaning none. So what do you do to these kids? You know, the question was even posed, and he was like, "Oh, well, you know, they're all grown up, so they can handle it. They're doing fine." Yeah, says you. I don't know about you, Bruce, but my kids don't talk to me about their innermost, deepest, darkest secrets, fantasies, and or thoughts about life. Nobody's kids do. Well, maybe his do. Maybe now. And, you know, put that into perspective. What if that one of those kids goes out and commits suicide now? Mm-hmm. You postulate on that for a few minutes. We're going for a commercial break. We'll be back in 2.
And you are listening to Crash Talk with Christopher John Taylor, a.k.a. Crash Jesus, on HTLA Radio 1, New York.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions. Abundant with rich, fertile soil. What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Man, I've been to a lot of places over these past 50 years. Seen the whole true north strong and free. 'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Cooksville, Stouffville, Bainesville, Bowmanville, Bonneville, Unionville, Oakville, Dunville, Brockville, Boucherville, Melville, Drummondville, Kentville, Grenville, Morinville, Maryville, Parksville, Stephenville, Sackville, Spring Hill, Westville, Walkerville, hanging on a windowsill. Hey! He said, wow, that's a lot of places. I said, hang on, there's more. I've been to Moncton, Picton, Shannon, Vernon, Stellarton, Hamilton, Nipigon, Nobleton, Yorkton, Brighton, Bolton, Beaverton, Brandon, Edmonton, Walkerton, Wyerton, Granby, Miramichi, Charlottetown, Burnaby, Yellowknife, Whitehorse, Corner Brook, none of it. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I crossed the prairies bare, man. I breathed the mountain air. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere, man. Check it out. Ottawa, Wawa, Mattawa, Chippewa, Moose Jaw, Oshawa.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slicked back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out of style. We never go out of style. Take me out.
There's only one place to get more Taylor.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, and drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you. See you, see you.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Well, you know we are, and we are back. Yes, you're listening to the Tuesday Night Crash Talk. Juice Brenner. Yes, or Bruce Jenner. Well, I guess he's still Bruce Jenner. Technically, he hasn't changed yet. It's a coming, babies. That surgery date has definitely been made. That's right. So, yeah, we are talking about the Bruce Jenner transition, the big Diane Sawyer interview, of course, highest ratings ever for 2020 since March of 2000. That's all great, and we're talking about PCism, and we're talking about ramifications of people saying anything that can be possibly construed as against anything else, or hell, even just asking plain, straight-up questions that are based in fact. Yeah. You think that Star Trek actress is ever going to get work again? I don't think so, Tim. No, she's probably done. And her fans have told her so on Twitter. Yeah. Just a reminder, this show is brought to you by the fine folks at Tim Hortons in New York City. Now with 8 locations in that city to serve your coffee and baked goods needs. And let me tell you, Tim Hortons is always fresh. Yes, it is. So we are taking your calls. If you've got the balls, get on in here. We'll let you call up the Roadhouse tonight. Speak to Billy, the bartender. 914-873-1692 is the number. You can give us a call and weigh in your 2 cents on this whole Juice Brenner or Bruce Jenner thing. I don't know what the hell to make of anything. And if you're just joining us, you know, I'm not just this misogynist bastard just shooting off his mouth here. You know, I actually have friends and family who, are dealing with transgender stuff right in the backyard. Personal friends of mine, their brothers, sisters, well, once brother, now sister, who went and married a woman to be lesbian. See, I don't know. And it's not just me that doesn't know. Even the people at GLAAD. And no, not the people that make the garbage bags. I'm talking about the transgender official association in the United States, if not the world. I'm not sure if GLAAD is international and global, or if it's just the United States, but they don't even know. That's the Transgender Association representing for transgenders. They report that there's infighting amongst transgenders about all of this as well. It's like they all don't know. And I've talked to psychiatrists and psychologists, and they don't really help and offer too much. Oh, they have theories, yes, and some of them will stick those in your face and wave them around just kind of like it's a rainbow flag in the front of the St. Patrick's Day Parade in New York. But nobody's got any answers. Most of all, Bruce Jenner. He doesn't have any answers. He, she, they. I'll call them they. Because clearly there are two people, although that is only one theory of one psychologist, that the identity of the woman inside you just gets stronger and stronger until it's you can't fight it anymore, and you must succumb to it and have your penis cut off and put in a vagina. That's one theory, but you know it all sounds so outlandish, so far-fetched. And of course, at the beginning of the show, I posed the question: where was all this 30 years ago? Where was all this 60 years ago? 100 years ago? 200, 700 years ago? Well, it didn't exist quite simply, I believe, because the technology to change a human being from one sex to another, such as it is, was not available until very recently. And about that technology that I said they'd almost perfected, well, yeah, almost, guys. Don't be thinking that you can go get your penis cut off there and have this vagina installed and it's going to be really anything like a real one. It's not. They have this strict dilator package that you have to buy and use for hours at a stretch every day. For months, if not years. Yeah. Yeah. And let's go the other way around. All those women out there who are getting the operations to have the vagina removed and a penis installed. Well, our technology really hasn't even mastered making a real penis work much past 45 years old if you've got erectile dysfunction. So, what do you think the chances are they're going to build you a penis of the gods? Well, let me tell you, I've seen some post-ops and, yeah, no. No, sometimes those little flaps of skin are just enlarged clitoris from what they look like. But what the hell do I know? I'm just a heterosexual, traditional male. Yeah. Who, thankfully, his penis still works. Yes, it does. But there you go. So, I mean, that in a nutshell kind of brings you up to speed on the show. We've talked about the PCers and whoever the hell those people are. We don't even know, but they just kind of crawl out of the woodwork and turn your comments viral if you say anything bad or anything that even could be construed as bad. That may not necessarily be bad. They may just be valid questions, like that British actress that was in the Star Trek Into Darkness who's been shunned. Yes. Imploring a traditional means to get non-traditional results is what they're doing now. They're shunning you, i.e. getting you fired from your job, i.e. not getting you that next job, i.e. Getting you to lose your career based on a comment not even thought about twice but deemed as racist and sexist. And we've also talked about tonight the 59 possible genders you could be on Facebook in your profile now. They've updated that several months ago. Male, female, 57 others. And then if you can't pick one out of the 59 options they give you, there is, of course, the ultimate other category where you can customize it and type in whatever the hell you want. I don't know what this means. I don't know what this means on a societal basis. I don't know what this means on a humanity basis. You know, if I'll tell you, if things keep going the way they are, you're going to see our species just kill itself. If everybody's going to turn gay and lesbian and transgender and who knows what the hell else, they're not going to be procreating anymore. And if gay marriage does get approved and a thumbs up by the Supreme Court and is actually recognized as a thing, is that going to create an influx of new homosexual couples who go get married because it's the in thing to do? It's trendy. It's popular. I don't understand on that end of things. I don't understand why gay marriage is such a big deal. You know, if you love each other, have a ceremony and call it a day. What significance is it to have that piece of paper to be recognized by the government and taxed accordingly? I don't get that. You're taxed anyway. Well, why do you got to go and make it worse on yourself? Or better, I guess in some situations. Financially it could be better, but not in most. What is that? Why does the government have to recognize you? And is really this whole thing people's cry for attention so that people recognize you? Is that what it is? It could be. But then that's kind of cyclical. It leads me back to my conversation near the beginning of the show where I said that, is it just because we're sad and have nothing else to do? Is that where this is coming from? I don't know. It's a good question. But before the break, I asked the question, hypothetical. You're one of Bruce Jenner's kids. You're going along in life thinking everything's fine. And Bruce just sits down with you one night at dinner and says, I'm going to transition and become a woman. This is your dad. An Olympic gold medalist, for God's sake. He has 7 kids. testosterone machine, I'm thinking. Right? Well, that testosterone machine just sits down to dinner and tells you he's going to go be a woman. You tell me that doesn't have any negative effects on you? And like I said before the commercial break, what if you then go and commit suicide? Think about it. Thank God it hasn't happened yet to any of the Jenner kids, but you never know, do you? And if it does, who's at fault? Or is anybody at fault? Or will I be indeed shunned on Twitter and Instagram and thrown to the wolves on Facebook and anywhere else I am because I've just said that? Why does there have to be anybody at fault? Maybe it was all just meant to be. Oh, yes, I've heard that before. Yeah. Well, anyway, the entire mess brings me back to something that my wife says in conversations about any of this stuff. And that question is quite simply this. Where did my right go to raise my family in a traditional manner? Yeah. Think about that for a second. I said to her when she first said that, I said, what do you mean? She says to me, we've got a little 2.5-year-old boy, Tristan. She says to me, well, now, I have to go and take him to kindergarten, and he's going to ask, he knows his mommy and daddy, of course, and he's going to see other kids with mommies and daddies, but then he's going to see the odd couple of kids now with mommy and daddy and daddy. And she says, now I have to explain that to him. And as soon as she said that, I realized, wow, something, you're absolutely right. You've lost through no ill work on your part and through no fault of your own. You've actually lost the right to raise your family traditionally in this country, and there hasn't been one word spoken about that. Not one. Well, I know there are millions and millions and millions all across this country, and indeed all around the world, quite a bit actually centered in Europe, who don't buy into this crap, who do believe in traditionalism and still live by it. I know there's a hell of a lot of American families that are in the same boat, and I gotta say, I empathize with you. Yeah, I do. That's not a good situation to have to deal with that now. And how did we lose that right? How did that transpire? How did that happen? We were all asleep on the watch. We don't have the right to raise our families traditionally anymore. And it's just because of all this shit. It's exactly what it is. And I guess, although it hasn't been put in so many words, or the term, but I guess a lot of the people that are against gay marriage and against transgenderism and against lesbians, gays, and against gender fluidity and against gender neutrality, I guess those people really are based in traditionalism and, like me, don't understand it. And most, unlike me, have not sat down face-to-face with transgender people and asked them point-blank, straight questions, gotten answers, and been more confused after a 10-hour conversation than they were when they started. And I'm not even so much sure that I was the only one confused in that conversation. No, I think the person in question that I was talking to about it, I don't think she entirely understood it either. So where do we go from here? What do we do about this? Do we do anything about this? Well, heavens no. If we say anything, we'll be shunned. That still gets me, that traditional answer to a progressive PC thing. No, I think really, to kind of sum up everything, folks, we're looking at a situation quite simply where there's a pendulum. There's a pendulum, and it swings. You know, just like the grandfather clock. It's got that big old pendulum swinging underneath it. Every hour, like clockwork, the bell dings off, and it's another hour past. And the reason that pendulums on grandfather clocks work is because they're perfectly balanced and weighted so that they'll perpetually move back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. To so much of a regulated system and rhythm that they can actually mark and keep time. Yeah. And yes, it's true. The traditionalists did, of course, invent the grandfather clock, and many of them still have them in their homes today. Funny thing about that pendulum is no matter how hard it swings to the left, it'll swing back to the right with the absolute equal and opposite force. It's a pendulum. That's what they do. So, kind of in closing tonight, I'm not so much worried about the future of humanity. I know I did pose that question earlier, but I'm not so much worried about it. Why? Because of the pendulum theory. For every inch that it goes to the left, it will eventually swing back to the right just the same. And no, I'm not talking about left and right politics. Don't misunderstand me. I'm talking about those PCers out there, those gay rights activists, those transsexual activists, those anything non-traditional activists out there who are pushing so hard for this law and that law and Supreme Court acceptance and recognition and the President of the United States to accept and recognize and the laws of every state and municipality and city in the United States of America to just shut the hell up and accept our pushing. Well, be warned, PCers. Be warned. Because as the grandfather clock, that pendulum's going to come back, and it's going to come back in a direction that you have no control of, and it's going to be pushing for things that you have not even conceived of yet. But as a result of all the things that are being done right now, mark my words, laws will be put in place, society's views will change in such a manner that will most likely undo everything that you've done to date. Yeah, just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Well, I am out of time. I wanted to thank you for all listening to Crash Talk tonight on the HTLA Radio 1 New York. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Hopefully we'll have something other than transgenders to talk about next week. Oh, yes, we will. You know we will. I want to thank Jenny in the booth there for pushing the buttons, making us go tonight. And I want to thank everybody for listening tonight. And be sure to catch us. You can catch us on Spreaker, iHeart, iTunes, Stitcher. The list goes on and on. You guys have a good night. If you're kicking around tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, tune in. Coffee and cigarettes, 3 p.m. Eastern. It's a lot more fun than this. Check you later.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.